And
Yeah.
we are back.
Oh,
Oh
hello,
my
Sally. God,
God.
you always give me a fright, when you
Yeah,
have these
like,
last-minute frozen mac issues.
like you wouldn't believe immediately the moment that I clicked on go live,
Yeah,
it just went
it's always going to
frozen.
happen, isn't it? It always happens when you don't expect it. So, welcome, folks, to the 8th episode of Full Stack for Noobs, with me being the noob on Full Stack, and I'm delighted to be joined by my lovely colleague Sally. Sally, what have you been up to this week?
I'm good, man. I have been very busy with a lot of different stuff. Yesterday, we were doing a workshop about Kiro with one of our heroes,
Oh, nice.
Christian Bonzellet. And we were actually at Bundesliga clubs. You know how much I love football, so it was nice to
Oh, you can't love it as much
get,
as me. It's me.
yeah. Like this is the thing that we
I'm so
missed the
jealous, though. I'm so
opportunity to do.
jealous.
Yeah.
I would have
But
loved to
it
have
was
been there.
really good. It was really great, like to meet the people, and we were at Frankfurt for like hosted by Eintracht. Oh, it
Oh,
was really great.
fantastic, fantastic. Oh, we should. I think there's definitely room for a tech and football podcast, right? We should definitely do one
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's enough people out there. In fact, if you're interested, if you love football, tell us what team you support, right? So, Sally, what's your team?
I mean, my team, like in Germany or overall, like my team is
Just generally,
Fenerbahce.
more broadly, because I
Yeah,
have more, I have a team in England and I have a team in
yeah,
Spain, right? So, what are your
yeah.
teams?
Like I have, like my team in Turkey is Fenerbahce. I have like grown into loving it all my life.
An
In
obsession, right?
Germany, yeah, exactly. In Germany, it changes. Like in right now, like
It
I
changes. How can
came.
you possibly change?
Here's the thing, like normally I was a huge like Hertha supporter because I'm this person that okay, like follow the team of your city. So I was like, let me support the team Hertha Berlin. But like since right now they're in Bundesliga too, and I know this love will be inherited to my son, and I'm like, should I not like give him another like
It's
bad
true.
club
It's
because
true.
there's also Fenerbahce, and I love Arsenal as well. They are
Oh God,
very
you got
good
lots of teams.
number
That's good. That's all
twos.
good. It's all
Yeah,
good. So my first football match that my father took me to was Southampton against Spurs. So
ah,
Southampton is
nice.
my English team. That's my team. But my heart is Deportivo La Coruña, right? Super Depor,
Nice.
which
Yeah,
we had our moment of glory in the 90s and 2000s, right?
yeah,
But now we're in the third division. So, but we've got an amazing supporter base, right? And
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
but for a team that's so low down, it's incredible. The stadium is still always full. It's just crazy.
yeah,
So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to
yeah.
what we're supposed to be doing, Sally. So for those people who maybe new to this kind of like series, Tobias, hello. I think you've been on before, so good to see you again. What we're doing is we're building a kind of a game, a hero quest from scratch. And the first episode was really laying that out. And what we're doing is we're trying to walk you through how you can use these new tools, these new agentic AI coding tools, and we're focusing on Kiro IDE. And so the first episode was really about the intent and mapping what we're going to do. Then Sally took us through the front end, starting and building out our game UI. And the last episode, we started building out the back end. Over to me. And that's why we left it, right, Sally? We had a good session. We got the
Yeah.
back end up and running.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to kind of kick things off. So I'm going to bring the screen back. And yeah, so and what I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of run the back end, because effectively we went through a prompt. So the prompt, I'm actually sharing the prompt here. Okay. And we spent most of the first part of the session working on the data model and then building up this prompt and showing you basically how you can over iterations build up the prompt so you get something that you actually is specific, it's clear, and it's a good starting point. And we actually got something that worked. So let's actually show folks what this actually looks like. HTTP 127.0.0.1.
This was one thing that really impressed us, right? Having a simple browser inside the IDE was really
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
it did. But what we didn't actually, what we thought, so we only had time very quickly because we ran out of time to actually see what this UI question UI, and we didn't think actually that it actually had done everything we asked, because we wanted it to test, and actually it does have a testing feature, right? So
yeah,
we've created a simple question, and effectively we can so we can say let's these are secret agents that work for Kiro under the covers, which is wrong, right?
yeah,
Now, what this is doing, at least what we've asked it to do, is this is doing an evaluation, right? It's using Strand's agent to do this evaluation, and as expected, it's working. It's got a low confidence score. If we actually give the right answer, it provides IDE automation. This should work, right? It should actually this time. Yeah, there we go. It works this time, and we can so we got a good starting point.
yeah,
Then we showed the API example. So again, from the front end perspective, this is kind of the stuff that we're going to be needing to access to integrate with the kind of front end. And then obviously we've got the docs. I think it's API docs, and we've got effectively all the Swagger basic details. So we're in a good space. But I think what we realized actually last time, Sally, was that the kind of the way that the kind of the questions and question banks, with the data model, we ran into a problem, didn't we? Which is basically, how are we going to surface up the questions to the front end, to when a player correctly starts a new game object, right? A new game object, it has to select a question, and the idea was it would have it would select from a question bank a series of questions. And the way this works at the moment is you define questions, but you have to define the question in a bank, right? And that's not quite how we wanted it. We wanted the questions to be effectively in a bank or in a pool.
Give a pause. Like the bank is, you can think the bank, or if I remember correctly, we are thinking bank as the category. For example, there will be TypeScript question bank. There will be, I don't know, Dart question bank.
Well, we can name it whatever we want. I mean, and maybe that's one way we would do it, or maybe we just call it A, B, C, and then in there we would put TypeScript questions. But I think the point is that the way that during this Vibes coding session, what it didn't quite do is it kind of tied the two together. So and what we want is we want them to be separate. We want a question bank almost to be like a join, not a join, but we want them to basically be effectively a selection of question IDs, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to basically kind of like, I've got this actually in the prompt. The way that I thought about this is that we weren't clear enough in the original prompt how this was to be, right? So I've kind of framed it in this way, which I think is clearer. So questions are managed in collections called question banks. Question banks have unique names. Questions are created and can then be assigned to 0, 1, or more question banks. And questions can exist in multiple question banks. Okay. And actually, maybe one more, okay, is that admins will assign questions to question banks.
Okay. So we want to, right now, we will have questions. Questions will stay at, let's say, one flow of data. And when we want to create a bank, then like I think it makes sense. For example, we can create one bank for, let's say, conference X, and we can just pull in the questions that we need.
Exactly. So that way it allows us to have, like, you know, this history of all these question banks, and we can go back, because we can go back. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be persistent, but we'll at least have a kind of a construct we can use, right? And we can even then do metrics to say which question banks were the most successful, for example, or least successful, that kind of thing.
We can also, like, according to the different kind of conferences, there might be the same theme. For example, VR Developers is a big conference right now. Like, it was very big in Europe. Now there will be one in North America and India. So maybe if there was any sponsorship, then they were just using that
Yeah.
over there and like any other place as well.
So
If like I'm
actually,
not
Sally,
saying
that's a
there
really good
is, by the
question.
way, I'm
So
not
actually,
saying
you know what?
there is. Yeah.
You kind of give me an interesting thought. So one of the things we haven't catered for, okay,
Yeah.
is languages, as in like written languages. So maybe,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess the question banks might also be defined by the language, right? By the language that, not the programming language, the actual written language. So we can create different question banks in different languages as well.
Can we create like nightly agent to translate these questions?
So you could. So that's a great question, because we've got APIs. In theory,
Yeah.
we've got. Well, we'll come. I've shut the application about it, but let's kind of try and fix one problem at a time. So effectively, what it is, we're gonna change. So okay, so we have tested the question bank, and want to make some changes to how question banks and questions are managed. Please use the following and rewrite the code data model accordingly.
I just want to say something. I see that you're using Opus.
Oh, yes, I am. You know what? I forgot. I actually don't. So actually, do you remember when I had it on auto?
Yeah.
It struggled, didn't it? And it was only
Yeah.
so I'm gonna stick back to auto. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Opus.
No. Let's keep Opus. Let's keep Opus. Come on.
So it's that is because I'm because this is quite a significant change, right?
Yeah.
I want to have more control here. So I'm going to fire that off.
Yeah.
And so Kiro now is going to take that. Obviously, this we've not touched it since the code since the last episode, which was a week ago. So the Kiro session, even though I've closed the browser because I had to update my Mac OS, it still has everything.
Yeah.
This is a significant data model change.
Yeah.
Oh dear, yes, that was my worry. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my worry, and actually, part of me did think that because we're vibe coding this, maybe the right approach is just to burn it down, right, and try again. And that's something that I don't know about you, Sally, but I actually do. I do right. Because we spent an hour last time, okay. And so it's an hour lost work, although I don't really call it lost work because what I've done is I've refined my understanding of the problem space. So it's an hour spent refining your understanding of what you're trying to build, right? So but we'll see how well it does, okay? Because I am a bit nervous. Anything to do with the changing of the data model, it makes me nervous. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually also going to delete the database, just so that it recreates it from the schema that basically gets updated.
You should trust AI more. It can do it. It can do it.
Actually, so what I did actually, one thing I did do since as we're waiting for Kiro to finish, I actually did ask Kiro to generate an ERD diagram of the data model, right?
Okay.
And this is actually quite useful because from this you can kind of like see whether you think your understanding versus Kiro's understanding of the data.
But what is ERD, for example?
Oh, so ERDs are entity relationship diagrams. Okay, kind of. I think they kind of from the kind of 2000 eras they started. But what we used to do is when we were building and architecting solutions, we would typically start with the data model because that's how we basically then built everything else, right? And so we would define, and then we would have lots of workshops to basically dive deep into actually what the data model is, and we would effectively illustrate it in using ERD diagrams. And there are tools actually that you can use or you can buy. I mean, back in the day, there was loads of them. I don't know. I've not used them for what 20 years now. But there are tools we used to use to create these kind of diagrams. Okay, but in essence, what they should allow you to do is understand the data that your application has. So we have this concept of an event, right? Which has many games, which is true. We're going to have lots of people playing the game. The game has a game player, right? And the game player has a player. and the game player for a game has effectively player ID and a score, which is good. We that all makes sense. A game obviously needs questions, and then the questions come from the question bank, which is sorry. The game question comes from a question. The questions all live in a question bank, and the game uses the question bank. So effectively, the relationship is that the game will dictate which questions are by whichever questions are in the question bank. So it kind of makes sense when you look at the diagram. What obviously wasn't quite right was how it basically managed the admin side of it from the point of view of questions to questions being separate to question banks, right? So what we showed in the screen before was that you had to basically create a question to a question bank. If you wanted to use the same question, you'd have to duplicate it, right, for every question bank, which is not a good idea. We don't want that, right? And this, by the way, Sally, all this was a very simple prompt. Generate, look at the application data model and generate an ERD diagram based on that. And it did it. I think it created.
But now it is obsolete, right? Because we are changing.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're right. It is obsolete. It's obsolete. So, but right. Is it finished? Is it still working? It's still working. So what's it doing? Let's start summary. Okay. So basically, it's made some changes to the models. Let's have a look at the models it's changed. Okay. So question bank. So yeah, that's to be expected. Yeah, it's changing the relationships. Okay. So it's doing kind of stuff that I would think it's doing, which is good. What's it doing here? Question bank. It's adding that. Okay, good. So again, as one of the things you do as these AI coding assistants are making changes is you're reviewing and seeing what's bank assignment questions, which is good. That's good. That's a good sign, right? Which questions are assigned to which bank? Question roots. Oh, okay. Yes, because that's the admin interface. Right. So now, okay, it's time to delete the old seat. I told you it would delete it, didn't I? It's going to basically fail on that because obviously I've already deleted it. But let's have a look. It's deleting all the old stuff as well, all the cached stuff. I mean, what happened is because we're using Flask and SQL ORM, because we've defined the data models, that will automatically generate the table creation when we start the application. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about recreating anything. That's what I mean. It's one of those things, right? That it's what ORMs are really, really good at, but at the same time, ORMs can constrain you. And I think what I've noticed over the last maybe few years is a move against using ORMs and more into direct access to databases directly, right? Through different mechanisms, right? So that you got more control. And I think that, it's always backwards and forwards on that.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing to mention here is like everything that we do, like the database operations, how we host the database and so on, everything is local yet.
It's locally
local
here, yeah.
software. We didn't do any deployments.
No.
So
no,
that is why this change. Yeah, exactly. So that is
actually,
why
that's one of the things, right? Is we're creating stuff here that can move or run locally in local dev mode or in production in a container. Maybe connect. I mean, what we would probably do is configure a remote connection to an RDS cluster, right? And do that. So that's probably what we would do.
I mean, you are in the driver's seat, I'm just going to observe it.
Yeah.
So I just need an endpoint,
Yeah. So interestingly, it's adding, it's doing all the Git. How I borrowed your prompt to do all the automatic Git changes. Well, I actually removed it from my so if I look at here, I removed it from here. Okay. Because I wasn't happy with it, right? Yeah. But look what it's doing. It's doing it. It's so, and the reason why I'm highlighting this, Hallie, remember we had a conversation in previous episodes around whether stuff you change manually gets ignored or not. Yeah. Well, here's the example where even though I've changed the file, right, on the file system, Kiro is still retaining its memory of what it has in the steering file.
Yeah, this is really interesting. This is really like making me curious about things, like then how does it still keep the context? That is the biggest problem. Like, how does it know? Is it because it was following it through the project? It knows it because of the
So
Git history? Because like I know, for example, when you activate some powers or something, sometimes you get some additional MCP servers like Git Kraken and so on. But we don't have that here as well. So I'm really curious how it works.
Oh, look, didn't work. Oh, hang on, that's why. Because it would help if I had the right command. Okay, so now we've got the database has been created again, has it? Yeah, it's been created again. Let's get rid of this. Let's move this down. Let's refresh. Okay, so now question banks. Okay, bank. Oh, look, we got this. This is looking promising. Okay, so let's do a new question. All right, general knowledge, easy. What are Kiro agent hooks mainly used for? Kiro IDE automation. We keep it simple. What devs should be always doing. Okay, so we've now got we can add more questions there. Actually, we can export and import questions if we want. We've got question banks. So no question banks yet. Let's create a new bank. Let's call it English General. And then we sign questions, and we can. Oh, it's got checkboxes. Oh, fantastic.
Okay. But so now we need to have definitely. Imagine we have 1,000 questions, so we need to have
exactly
like filters.
Okay, that's a good point. Let's definitely add that. Now we can add test. So okay, now it's interesting. It's the test questions is now not by bank, it's by question, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, ID automation, and that should work. Fantastic. And we've got configuration options here, which we had before. Show correct answer on wrong. And auto pass questions, which we asked, remember, because we wanted to have this for debugging the integration, and then we've still got our API stuff here. So looking good. I think we're in a really good spot here now. Where
should we like regenerate something about documentation or anything at all, or like what do you think?
So you mean the API docs? You mean so
API docs? Yeah.
In theory, the APIs haven't changed, right?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. API banks, delete, get API banks, put, move questions from a bank. That's a good point, actually. So maybe, okay, you might be right, actually. Maybe we need to change this.
Because with Swagger, we also have options to create as well, right? And
yeah. Delete API question. Okay, let's do that, and let's okay. Now, folks watching, you might realize that we are 79%. Okay, context. So I'm going to open up a new session now. Okay.
If you don't, it's going to do it by itself anyway. So
the code to make changes to the data model and how question banks and questions are managed. Please review and update the Swagger docs. Okay, so and this is, I think this is quite good as well, because what it's going to do is it's going to force it to actually read the files in the file system. Now, Sally, this is a good segue. I'm not sure if you are or have been watching some of the stuff that's on the other AI coding agents, but this week and last week, I was watching some videos around the use of agents.md and Claude.md in Claude. And what's interesting, okay, was that sometimes, okay, you might have this information in your context, or you might have information in a Claude file or an agents file, and you'll do a question like what we've just done now, actually, to review the project and update the Swagger files. And what they were doing is they were doing some experiments and tests as to whether actually preloading that is more efficient and effective than basically just getting it to do it by itself. And surprisingly, because I didn't expect this, actually asking the tool to go through and redo and review the files is actually, I think it was 4% more reliable, but it was also like I think 10 seconds quicker. So it's completely changed my viewpoint about doing these kind of things within a new context window, right? So sometimes actually it's okay to do that, and actually might be more efficient than sticking in your existing context that's built up over a period of time.
This feels like it is one of these, like when the skills were out. I think it was 1 week later or something. The engineering team from Versa, they were like, by the way, the skills are not the most effective because we have seen agents.md is working better for us. I think these kind of things are heavily focused or relied on the scenario that you're in. Maybe for a medium project or something, like going through the project would be definitely efficient, at least like whatever we have done so far. But I highly doubt it for the like high level projects that is existing out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. It's like, but it's interesting that people are beginning to share, their experiences on this. And I know, as you start using these tools, you do begin to get an intuition, but you should also be constantly changing and checking your own intuition, right? And so I mentioned that because it's something that's been in my circles and on my radar this week, right? Okay, so it's finished. It looks like it's actually so we've got it up and running. Let's actually refresh the API docs. Let's see what it's changed. So we got question banks, bank question. So we've got banks. So we got delete a bank, get all banks. So let's have a look at getting all banks. Try it out. Execute. Hang on. I thought I had. Okay, I need to go into.
Because this was the way that we decided to do the communication, right?
Yes, exactly. So there's the configuration is here. I know API. There he is. I need to get that. Oh my god. Okay.
Folks, please do not memorize this token.
But luckily, it's only on my machine anyway. So
yeah.
Why isn't it's really weird? Why isn't my paste not working? It's really weird. That's bizarre. I can't paste.
Is it because of... No, it's not. Like I was thinking maybe it's because it's in another page or something. No.
Okay, so actually no, it's weird. It's like okay, let's yeah, that's bizarre. Let's try again. No. API examples. Yeah, yeah, bizarre. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think my commands can't right click. I can't right click. So let's have a look at what's going on here. Can I? No, I'm not sure what's going on my
Maybe
machine.
it's the browser problem.
It could be. Let me just try. Yes, good point. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open another browser and try doing it.
Yeah. And get it from
exactly.
come back as well.
Yeah, it is that. That is exactly what it is. It's actually it's the simple browser. It doesn't seem to have the clipboard enabled. So for folks, the reason why I'm doing it here, so I don't have to keep going out and stop sharing, and so that should work now. Oh no, I can't. Okay, bloody hell.
Not even the right click, right? The right click doesn't work as well.
Right click doesn't work either. No, so I can't. Hang on, Adam. That's a question mark. Nope, that's not it. Element to chat. Oh no, okay, that's to do with. Okay, why can't? Oh dear, let's have a look. I wonder if maybe it's to do with. I have to do a separate configuration. Local internet search paths usage.
But what you're using is not the localhost browser, though. You can uninstall this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
What you're using is the simple browser.
Okay. So let's try that. Let's try doing the simple host browser then.
Do you?
No,
You don't have the history of your clipboard, right?
No, I don't use that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something really simple. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to a browser. Let's go to a proper browser.
Yeah.
And keep it simple. Right. Let's stop sharing. Stop sharing. Nope. I don't want to stay. I want to do that. How can I stop screen? Share screen. Share Chrome tab. Question. Here we go. There we go. Now.
No.
Okay, so let me make that screen bigger.
Yeah.
So now we can actually go to
take the token, and yes.
And now it should work. Yeah, there we go. Unreal, right?
This was super easy. This was super easy.
It was. Let's try it out. And we should have one question bank, shouldn't we? We should have one question bank. Hey, token missing.
What? No.
What? Oh, hang on. Maybe it's because I need to do this first.
Try out. Token generated.
Okay. Execute.
Okay, you get the token now, I guess, from here. Maybe it created a new token when you click on that one.
But that's the token I use. So that's the thing that's really weird. So question bank. So actually, no, it did actually have the token here. Look.
Yeah.
It says token is missing.
But it is like authorization. Should it have bearer in front of it? Maybe.
On the curl command.
Like after the authorization, before the token starts.
Well, I tell you what, let's use this as an opportunity, right? To get Kiro to debug this, right?
Yeah.
So, but first of all, this author. Let me just make sure this is working okay. It's bearer IQ, former bearer, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, accept application -D. Why isn't it letting me edit that? Let's clear this. Because all it's doing is basically just automatically posting that, isn't it? So it works. So it generates a 200. It says JTW value. So it's worked. But that's not working. And it's only a GET request. Yeah. Let's just clear that and try again. It says token is missing. Okay.
Yeah, so I think you can copy and paste it to the Kiro, but I think we are missing to add something before the token.
Yeah, let's see if it works. No, I don't want to delete. I don't want to delete on a collect.
Just get the questions.
So let's do something simple. Let's just try config. So yeah, they're all so basically okay. So that's fine. Yeah. So effectively, all we need to do is basically say that we're getting this error. So let's go back to Kiro and stop doing that. And stop screen, share my Kiro, share window. Okay, right. So, okay. When we try and test out the APIs. The APIs, we have added the token from the configuration screen, but now get every time we try and call these, please. Okay, right. So remember what we talked about last time? Issues log. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this. Okay. So right.
One thing is, I think we should tell it to create a token if it needs to, or do you think that it won't
Well,
go
so
anywhere.
I'm gonna let Kiro
Okay.
figure this out, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to just basically see. So let's make sure that basically the terminology is correct.
Yeah.
So so via API docs is correct, and through API examples. So I think what we need to do is we've added from the API examples screen.
Maybe we should like instead of saying from the API example screen, we should say Swagger UI.
This is so, but we're getting the API from here, right? So we have to say where we're getting the token from. So okay, so we have added the token from here, so we know basically this is the token it's generating, right? But you're right. So then what we have to say is that from the API docs, we've added the. Actually, it's interesting. It says API key here, right? Not token. But it's the same thing, isn't it? It's actually
no, it's the same thing. Like
it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like because we are providing JVT token. That's the thing.
Try. So let's be more specific. When we access the the API specifically, which is API banks, get API banks, get API banks, or any of the other APIs. So now what we're going to say is we're going to basically go here and say review the issues log.md and resolve problems. Let's say this first. So this is what we did. Remember, in the front end, we use this to track. So taking the learnings from the chat interface, which could disappear, and transferring them onto something that's more permanent.
I showcased this to someone as well recently. I forgot who. Sorry if they are watching me, but like I showcased this to someone as well. I think this is great for automating the bugs. One thing that no, I didn't. One thing that I realized was like I created a workshop and I asked Kira to do the workshop as the attendee, and as it found errors, I wanted it to add it into the issues log MD, and later on it fixed it by reiterating. So it's meta QA, meta programming.
Yeah, so it's fixed it, right?
Yeah.
Look what it's fixed. Updated token required in source serve source to accept the bearer token and raw token format. Swagger UI's API key security type sends the authorization header value as is without. So that's what you spotted, right? You spotted it wasn't using the right kind of like it was the payload wasn't configured correctly.
Humans, man, humans, you know,
exactly.
Humans
so
always win.
So we can see what it's done here. So if auth header starts with bearer token header, else if header token equals auth header. So that's the only thing it's changed. Token equals none. So it's getting it from authorizations or from. So basically supports both now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So let's now see if this actually works. So I'm gonna basically switch back to the browser. Got to get better at switching. So let's see if this works now.
StreamYard should have multiple window share for the people in case they don't want to have. They don't want to show their desktops, you know.
Exactly. Let's get that API, get a token again, and add this in.
Right now we are seeing your AWS display thing.
Which display thing?
I think you are showcasing the wrong one. Yeah.
I'm showcasing the wrong thing. Gosh. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Share screen.
I know you like this program. So that's
I
why
know.
you
I'm
wanted
really
to
doing a good job.
showcase there.
Even though the project is now in maintenance mode. So okay, right,
Yeah.
we're here. So I've added the token.
Yes.
So let's make sure that works. And let's try now. Try it out. Execute.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we have one. It's the English general. Nice.
And yeah, look at that. So let's try some of the. So we can create a new question bank. Let's try it out. Let's call it Fenerbahce.
Close
No.
by. I will let it. I will let it. It's FENER.
Sorry, FENER.
NER. Like
Oh
without the
no.
R. Yeah, exactly. NER. BAH. BAH. Yeah. CE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rules.
Yeah.
Let's see if that works.
Yeah, after yesterday's game, they were not ruling, but
okay, let's try making sure this one works again, and we've got the new
Yeah.
one, and there we go. We got our new questions, so that seems to
Nice.
work right. So we've got APIs that now seem to work. So again, it's worth doing it, and we've also got the full schema here.
Yeah.
Which is useful. Okay, that's a really useful input for AI coding agents. So this is because this actually makes sure that when they're writing the code, they respect the format that the API is expecting. So that is actually, are you seeing that on the screen? No, you're not, because
No.
I've just realized that you can only see, and the terms of service also something that you don't necessarily need to include. But if you were doing something properly, you would have like a web page that showed the terms of service of your API, right? But I think we're looking okay. We're looking good, Sally. So I'm thinking now, we've got our kind of like, so look, let's share my screen again. Yeah, window, and so we've got now an API that's working. We've got the ability to add questions. But we don't have necessarily the APIs around the other bits and pieces of the data model, right? Which is around the player names and the scores and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or the games, right?
Yeah, we are also missing the So what we were talking about was, so each event will have a separate and separate code to enter or start, and with that one, then we will land to the landing page of this users, and from the users they will enter their names and everything, and they will see the questions, and later on we will see everything. And the token is only going to be generated if the event ID or event code is entered, and that will be done by organizers. So we are missing systems for keeping the names, like usernames of the players because of the leaderboard, the event code generation, event code reference, and basically the flow of it. Once we have that flow, I think we are more or less done.
Yeah, so we have, I think it's there, right? Because look, we can see, so this is the actual database, right? So one of the reasons why I love using SQLite, okay, is that it's super easy to, from a debugging perspective or from an even observability perspective, to see what's going on. So we can see that we've got, for example, games. We can see that we've got events, right? And we can see that we've got players. So we have these details, right? All that we've created so far is the the UI for the question bank. The actual APIs though currently only have the APIs for the question side of it. So what we want to do is we want to define effectively the APIs for. So let's create some new one here. So APIs for game flow, right? Okay. So create APIs for the following events. So effectively, we want to basically create an API. So let's before that. The following describes the game flow.
Mhm.
So we have basically we have admin creates a new event. I guess that's the first thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then once a new event will we've already defined actually that in the ERD diagram. So we've already got kind of like the event here.
But we changed the ERD a bit, right?
Well,
sorry, the data has been
actually,
changed.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. But I don't think the only thing that's changed so far is the question stuff, not the actual event stuff.
Okay.
We can recreate it actually. So let's do that. Let's do that in the background. Okay.
Yeah.
So the data model has changed. Please update the ERD diagram in the assets directory to reflect the updated data model. We'll see what happens with that. See, it might ask me. It might prompt me for. Oh, hang on. Okay, the key question no longer is a direct question bank ID question many to many. Okay, so it's doing it. It's doing it.
You're like, yeah, you did it. You should know.
I always worry. I'm too. Okay, I think the bit. This is what I was waiting for, because it uses a tool MMDC to actually generate the image. So that's why I was waiting for it to actually. I already have this tool installed, but obviously it needs my prompting to generate the actual image. So let's generating the single. Okay, ERD, right? So now, if we go to this, it should now be updated. Ah, look at that. So nice, right? So we have an event that has question banks, and questions are assigned to the question bank, right? So let's so an event will have the
have an access code.
So okay. So wait. So what we let's have a look from the P. So we want a name, don't we? A name. Event is name and theme and welcome text. We define name, welcome text, and theme. I think that's the only thing we need.
But like, shouldn't it have an access code as well? That we generate.
So yeah, so we haven't talked about that yet, have we? So we want to basically we want to update the. Okay, so you're right. Let's go back into this. Okay, so let's okay. We want to modify the event data model to include an access code. This access code will be used to log in clients, web clients to use or to access the game. We want to try and be prescriptive. Okay, so access code should be 8 characters. Use alpha numeric.
Oh, nice.
And respect case. That should be enough, I think. So let's see what but you're right. I forgot about that. But the good thing is we can actually.
If it breaks, it would be funny. If it says, "Oh no, I can't do it. I'm done."
Access code and welcome text, right? A new event. Okay. Actually, that's more. It needs more actually, and question bank and because obviously we in the diagram, the event uses a question bank, and it's not here at the moment. So it has a question bank. So okay, let's update that. So it's updating the data model as well for us, which is good. So we can close that. This should now have updated. Access code. Right, good. Oh, what's going on here? Let me verify the data model works end to end. Okay, it's going to delete it. That's fine.
Okay.
We don't mind that. We don't mind it deleting it.
Yeah. It was only 2 or 3 information. We are good. We are good with that.
Yeah. I mean, actually, so it's probably a good idea to ask. When I've done this in the past, I've asked it to create a script that will auto-populate questions as well that we can use. Right. So that's okay. So we want to update the event also. Okay. Also update the event to actually do we need to do that? Yeah. So update the event so that you select a question bank that will be used for questions. This should be a lookup to the question banks. If this is null, return or return an error asking that they create a question bank first. I'm just, we've got a dependency on events on question banks, which is probably reasonable actually, because you can't have an event without questions, right? So,
but like the events should have question bank dependency, not question dependency. Though.
I put question bank. I did put question banks.
Okay.
So that
I think we are okay. If we have the question bank dependency, like the question bank will deliver what we need anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it should work out without the question dependency.
Okay. So yeah. Before creating a new event question, no, let's see. Events.
Let's do this so it's more readable.
A dependency on question banks. Let's do that. Events have and creates a new event. A new event. Okay, right. Let's do that. So let's see what that looks like now. So now we've got, what's going on? Oh yeah, event.
No.
Okay, used by, we've got string theme, question bank ID, right? Used by, question bank has question bank questions, that's right. Game question. Okay, that's looking better. Okay, let's delete the database again. Right, okay, right. Okay, so create accounts for the game flow that are missing from the current API. Okay, so a new event. So let's just start. So admin creates a new event. Okay. Okay, player. A player will click on how would describe it? A player starts a new game by clicking on the new game button on the page. The player creates a new player profile, and this is basically where is it? Where's the game one? It's player. Okay. We don't have actually. There's one thing we're missing here is we're missing the okay, so we're actually missing it. So when player.
So what are we missing?
So when a player creates a profile,
Mm-hmm.
We ask them to choose a preferred programming language and a difficulty level.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, choose an avatar. These are currently not defined data model. This all comes down to, Sally, because we kind of like maybe we rushed the initial data model. But going back, if we were to do this,
do you think that, like, I think this information is they are per session, so I don't think that we have to define it already. So that is why.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So if we think about the player characteristics, okay, it's two things: programming language and difficulty. We know that, for example, in the questions, we've got category difficulty and we've got programming language, right? Where is it? Programming language. So we need, right? We need that information from the player so that we can so we can filter the right questions, right? So and they're missing at the moment. They're missing from the player, the game player data model. Does that make sense? That's the reason. That's the reason for sort of adding them now.
Then the question comes as, how are you going to prevent the duplication for the global leaderboard?
So the way that the global leaderboard is configured is by event ID and then player and then score. So from that perspective, we've got that hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be an issue. That shouldn't be an issue.
Or should it? Or should it?
Okay, so let's see let's see now. We've got player, we've got name, avatar, preferred language, preferred programming language.
Yeah.
Okay, can you update the player?
So for the people who are just joining our live streams, we don't do anything manually in this live stream series. Everything that we do so far, we do use Kiro and prompt engineering. The reason that we do it this way is like, it is important to keep Kiro or the AI ID aware of the changes that you do. So even though it seems like an extra work, in case you are working with AI-driven approach, whatever you do manually, you have to go back and let it know. You have to let it know that something has changed, and with these changes, the next move that it has to happen through the extra knowledge.
Exactly. So, guys, we can make more changes here. Preferred coding language, difficulty, created an avatar name. Now we're getting somewhere, right? So, okay, good. So, a player creates a new player profile. The player starts the game. And has an initial score of 0.
Yeah.
So I think this is what we're going to ask it to do. We're going to ask it to generate the. I think that's pretty much actually okay. No, there's one more thing. Okay, so the player ends the game when either the time runs out or they reach the end. At this point, the players score and time will be captured. Okay, right. So let's see what happens when we do this. So effectively, what we're really asking to do is just add the missing APIs, right? So that we can basically just have those APIs available for hooking into the front end.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This shouldn't take too long actually. Although interesting, it is actually saying there's obviously no routes created, which is right because we focused on just on the question bank initially, right? Which is fine. Now, once it's finished doing this and we've tested it and it's working okay, because I feel very confident in Kiro's ability here. How are we going to pack it? How much? So I think we're very close, right? So how are we going to join the two together, Sally? So one thought I had was I can package this up as a container, a self-contained container, right? Upload that image, and then you can basically run using your own local thing. But before we do that, okay, because we're not quite ready yet, okay. So what we're doing is at the moment we're getting just the kind of the main kind of like structure ready, right? But one of the things that we haven't really looked at is the evaluation, right? So if I look at evaluator, so the way this works, okay, is that and the evaluator is used for two types of question, right? It's used for it's used for all three actually, but the multiple choice evaluator is very simple, right? It's binary. Did they select the right question? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right. The general knowledge question, we've already seen an example of that when we asked it to do the ask about the agent hooks, and here effectively we're using Strand's agent, and we've got this prompt, okay, with some changes because we had to add this: do not penalize short answers. A correct answer is just as valid. And we've asked it to provide a confidence score, and if the confidence score is over a percentage, then technically the question is right. Okay, and that works. That seems to work okay, right? And that's just using a general kind of evaluation from the LLM. We're not doing anything fancy. It's not code, so we don't need to sandbox that. It's just literally a LLM tell us with confidence whether this is right or wrong. Okay.
Yeah, we provide the correct answer as well. Like one more time to mention it.
We do prefer that. Exactly. Yeah, we do that. The coding one though. Okay, evaluating the coding one. This is where we're using Agent Core code interpreter, right? To sandbox. And this is awesome. Okay, I've got to say this is pretty awesome because you don't. It's so quick. You don't even know it's happening. So effectively what we're doing is we're basically passing in the question, the code question we've got with the hints and the hidden inputs, right? The hidden inputs are how we test whether the code generator is correct or not, okay? And effectively this is literally a right or wrong answer, okay? But the problem here, okay, is that to use the Agent Core code interpreter, currently this only supports Python and I think it's JavaScript, not even TypeScript, right? So it's just JavaScript and
not Java, right? Just
it doesn't do Java, exactly. Yeah. Right. So the problem is
it's
that
something, you know.
It's something. we can't really use this approach. Now we can do it for testing for Python code. That's not a problem, okay? Oh look, so it looks like Kiro is trying to fix something. I've not been paying attention, but it looks like something's not quite working here. So we'll see. I think it's just the new APIs. So we'll let it sort itself out. I'm very confident now that the Opus is there, it's going to sort it out. But so we're going to have to change the code, Sally, and we're going to have to use a container to do this, right? So we'll have a pre-warmed container running on the machine, and that will allow, because obviously remember that one of the most important criteria is latency. If that wasn't an issue, then we might be able to do, for example, deploy a number of, for example, Fargate containers, each of them having, let's say, for example, a different code interpreter container image, and allowing us to basically to effectively send the request to the container, and then return the response back, right? So we have to think about how that's going to look in production. But we can't, unfortunately, at this stage use Agent Core Code Interpreter to do this. So we'll be and we can't let the process do it, because as we mentioned before, if we do that, then all it takes is for someone to do a rm-r and the machine gets hosed, right?
Do you think that we can use the same prompt to be able to create a evaluator, because we will have the correct answer as well and see if it's the close enough answer?
So the problem is that we could, right? You could do that, but then you're relying on a subjective answer, whether and I think what would happen is that, at least when I tried this, the code can look good, but not run or compile, and you still pass, and that's not what we want, right? We don't want that. It's got to run, it's got to compile, right? And if it's got to run, if it's got to compile, that's where your risk is. So this is why you do need a sandboxed evaluator for coding. And at the moment, this is the code that's used, that we're using a feature of Bedrock, of Agent Core, Bedrock Agent Core, to do this, and it works fantastic. It works so good for Python and JavaScript code, right? It just doesn't work for anything else, and that's just, it's not on their roadmap. I think the use cases for that is not necessarily aligned to the use case what we want it for, right? So that's fair enough. Okay, I have no issue with that. But it's just, I just wanted to show the code that this is the last thing we've got to do on the back end before we sign it off as this is done. So now let's integrate it with the front end. Although we could, I guess we could like put a pin in this and say, look, we know it's not working for anything other than Python at the moment. Let's test it out and see how we can and put the front end and the back end together. So it is actually finished now. So let's have a look. The game flow APIs are now in place and tested. Here's what created: event routes, schemas, app, registered new blueprints, models. The API flow matches the game lifecycle. So now let's try running the application again then and see if that. Okay, the application is running. So let me just see what this looks like. Let's have a look. Okay, so it looks exactly the same as before. I'm going to just stop sharing my screen and change the screen. Let's have a look. Stop screen, present, share screen, and Chrome tab. Okay. Right, so this looks exactly the same as before. We've got API examples now. Let's have a look if the API examples, they haven't changed. So this is not, that hasn't changed. Let's see if the API docs has changed. Question banks, configuration, events. Okay, so we've got events now, and we've got join game. Player
Players,
profile. Let's have a look though. We don't have get though. We don't have get player profile. So let's have a look. Questions. We have the question. So we haven't got. It's not quite right. Is it? We're missing some get methods for the player. I mean, I'm just thinking whether we would need that. I think we will need that. Game flow, Jane play. Let's have a look.
Also, it's a bit confusing that like it's API game players. Like we don't create players multiple times. But this is a nitpicking thing at the moment. It's just like if I'm creating a new player, I would just go API game player instead of players.
Yeah, and then we start a new game for a player with an event.
Yeah.
So event ID, player ID. So we effectively you create a player ID.
Yeah.
You then, I guess, start the game, and then
Yeah.
that's the end for the game.
Yeah.
We've got a start and end, but we don't have a way of listing. So we need to change that. We need to change so that we've got a way of listing players. Again, that's down to the detail of the API. What else do we do? We got API. So we got a list of events. We can create a new event. We can delete an event. We can get events by ID. Let's have a look at what happens when we get that. We get welcome text, ID, question bank, theme. Where's the access code though? Oh yeah, access code at the top. There we go.
Yeah.
So we got access code.
Nice.
And then create a new event. So we just literally give it a name and question bank. So there is a dependency there, which is fine. We know that. And get API events, events ID. We can get welcome text access code. All right, good. So it's almost there, but not quite. So we need some get methods for game flow, but only for the players, isn't it? I think. Do we want to see also what state a game is in?
No. I think play, even the player information, like not player information, but the state of the game is disposable. That's fine.
Right. Okay.
I guess mean, the resume logic is too much. I think we can live with that.
Right. Okay. Now the questions we got: list all questions, create new standalone questions. These are okay. These haven't changed really. So hang on, let's have a look. API get put updated questions. So submit. Okay, submit. Here's it. Yeah. Submit an answer for evaluation. The evaluation strategy depends on question category. So question answer string. Okay, so basically that's fine. So and then get the hint. So effectively we've got the hint.
Yeah.
When through the React UI, when we get a question, an answer, this is the API that based on the question which we assign to a tile. So effectively the game will have to basically get a question by ID. Includes a list of banks as questions. Okay, so effectively we need to be able to filter code sample, question bank. How do we do that? So get API list all questions. Questions are independent. So this only lists all questions. We want questions by bank, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not there. Okay. So we need okay, let's do that. So there's two things we need to change then. There's two things we need to change. Start screen. Okay, so okay.
I really like where we are right now. I think by the end of this live stream, we would just like next time we will just create a container, and with the container, we will start connecting whatever we have.
Yeah, exactly.
To front end, that's making things very, very concrete.
Indeed, exactly. We need, what's the other one we need? We need the ability to get questions by question bank. Questions. We need the ability to filter questions by programming language and difficulty. So I think this is what these are things. Okay, so we want to make 3 changes to the APIs. Please add, update, and then update the Swagger box. Okay. Here are the changes.
Maybe
Right.
we should have had our own tasks.md to keep the tasks, with the check mark and everything.
Well, that we could. I mean, we're straying into the spec mode. Remember, we're vibing at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. There was one moment today I was thinking, oh my God, I think this is a good time to
Yeah.
use Spectre development, but no, we will go.
So I
as it
think I
is.
think I think that's a good call though, because where we're probably going to be is that over the last, so this is probably we're now 7 hours into this, right? So imagine a one working day we've spent this time, and the output we've got now is we have a good understanding of the game flow, the APIs we need, the data model, and we've refined what the front end looks like through iteration. So I think if we were to go back now and try and do this, let's say properly, okay, through spec, we would have a much better way of documenting, writing what it is we want,
Yeah.
because we've captured all this information in the various prompts, right? In the various issue logs. We can even provide the issues we've seen as context, right? Although again, that's something that you should try and test out and see what works for you. Okay. Also, we got some legacy errors here. So what's going on? Legacy API warning.
What?
So okay, yeah. So I get, so it's interesting, right? So
are we already there?
yeah. So one of the kind of oddities I've noticed with using SQL Alchemy and AI coding systems, it doesn't matter which one you're using, whether you're using Kiro CLI, Amazon Q, Claude, or my new favorite Pi, that it always generates these legacy warnings, right? And it uses the query.get method. And it got to this, it got to the extent where in one of my rules files now, I have a statement saying that do not use deprecated versions of any API. In fact, actually, I think I have actually got that in my rules file. Actually, I think I might be wrong. Let's have a look. Projects. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's not on this one. I definitely have it in one. But I don't have it in this one. And another thing that always used to happen is when I used to use UV, it would always fail, and the first thing it would do is it would configure this. So I just added it to my steering file, which actually is interesting, right? So the one of the things that discussions this last few weeks has been about what do you include in your steering files, and I'm now definitely of the strong opinion is don't include anything that's already in the project, right? Don't include anything that the LLM will do automatically. Just put in there the things that you want to do and how you want to control it, which means that these files are going to get very, very small, right? They're going to be much smaller than what I see a lot of them. Okay, so it looks like it's done something. Let's have a look.
Okay, so we have the returns a player profile, the events, and everything.
And okay, the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah.
Let's actually go and see what it actually looks like on the actual API.
For me, one thing that I see is like right now, the players, like I know I asked this before, but like players seems to be created to be unique. But how are we going to allow people to make that it is not repeated? For example, if it like I allow one username, and for example, if there is Sally at and A available for grabs in event B, and in the leaderboard we will both.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, right? So I think on that one, basically it's first come first serve, right? It's first come first serve in the same way that your S3 buckets are today, right? First come first serve. And I think that when it comes to but that namespace is by event, right? Because the namespace will be event dot your username, right? So you can be Sally, right, in event 1, and then in event 2 you can still be Sally, because the actual namespace will be different, and you can basically have both those names in the global leaderboard, right? Because we'll prefix it, that way.
Yeah.
So, but you're right, it's a problem, but I mean, we have to. These are some of the constraints.
Your voice is it working?
Yep, I can hear. I think I'm okay. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Do we have?
Can you hear me?
Maybe it's me. Anyone from this hotel? Because I see that your voice is moving, so maybe it's me.
So let me just try and let's remove
it.
Can you hear me now?
Funny.
Can you hear me now? Is that any better?
No, I don't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me just
do we have any sound?
I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out and go back in.
Let me check if I have sound.
I can hear you, Sally. I can hear you loud and clear.
No, I have sound issues, not you.
Okay.
I have sound issues.
I was about to bail then. I was about to bail. Okay, so we've got. It looks like the APIs for GameFlow now have been updated. We can get a profile ID. We can get all events of players that participated in, and we've got the ability to filter now as well. Ability to filter questions by question bank. So get list of questions assigned to a bank, supports additional filtering. So that's let's try it out. Okay, look, easy. Java on 1. Execute. And question bank not found, which is right, because we don't have the questions.
No. It says server response was token is missing.
Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the classic. Yeah.
Classic. API example.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for letting us know. It was on me. Headphones. I hope they are not broken. I hope
it's probably battery in it. It's probably
StreamYard.
Yeah, it's probably battery.
Yeah, I really don't want to. It's this is not with the battery. This is the Biodynamics DT990. I really love. Okay. It's 250 ohm. It's the apple of my eye. I don't want it to be broken. So I hope the computer is broken and not not this thing.
Let's try this question bank.
All right.
So we got a question bank listed, question bank created. Oh, a bank with this name already exists. No. Oh no, those are different errors. Okay, fine. Response. Yeah. Okay, created. Right. ID3. Why is it ID3? Okay. Let's now add a question to the question bank. Well, let's just create a question first. So where's questions created? Questions. Right. Let's post a question. Try it out. Oh, there's loads of stuff here. Coding. Yeah. Let's let's leave coding. Oh no, I don't want to do that. So look, model category. Let's do general. It's easier. But then I've got to basically select. Correct.
Nice.
Yeah, so strings, so hint, difficulty easy, description, ID automation, code hidden code, correct answer, description. Okay, what are agent hooks used for? What do devs never do? Options. ID automation. Okay, let's see if that works. Question created. Right, we got a question now. So, yeah, that's okay. It's fine. Question created. Response body. What did I D6? Now, if we list questions, let's list questions. Try out. Oh, I didn't do that. I didn't filter. Python, general knowledge, easy question banks. Why have we? I thought we deleted all this. Maybe it's created some. It has got my question though. It has got my question here.
Maybe maybe we didn't delete it. Maybe
no. I think you know what it might do. It might have actually added some when it was testing. Quite often, what I find is as it's doing tests, as it's testing the stuff, it adds some data in there. I mean, we can actually see this actually if we go to the. Yeah, look, we can see it's got stuff in there already.
Yeah.
So that's why. Okay. And the API examples. Let's look. Got one question.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing we probably want to do is add more. Although you don't need it because you've got basically the Swagger now. So I think we're okay from that point of view. But I think we're looking good. We're looking good, Sally. I think because I'm just conscious of time because we're at an hour and a half now. So I think what we probably want to do now is think about so that the outstanding thing is evaluation. So in the next episode, what we're going to do is basically dive into more detail and change from using the agent core evaluator, which just does Python, to basically seeing how we can implement that using a containerized system. So effectively, and I use Finch. I don't use Docker, right? But we can still use the same constructs because Python just allows you to effectively treat it as a container, right? And that's abstracted, so it doesn't matter what you're using. And I think that Finch is still Docker compatible. So as long as the code is generating Docker commands, it should be okay. And then once we've got the evaluator working, we can then package it up as a container image, and I can then basically send it to you, and then we can basically figure out how to glue the two things together.
I'm really excited. I'm very, very excited for this. Yeah, we are very close. Like this week, we hopefully, like last week, unfortunately, we needed to cancel, but this week we will have hopefully one more live stream.
We'll be here on Thursday, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely, folks, tune in on Thursday when we'll hopefully finish the back end. I think is the other idea you had, Sally, about using Gen AI to sort of generate questions as well. We'll see if we can maybe implement that as well, because that seems like it could be quite an easy way to, in the screen which we showed where you add questions, you could basically have a button saying generate question, right? And we could
also use the localization. Like if you want to localize, we can also keep it easy as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that as well. Yeah. Localization, change language. Yeah, that's a great one actually. So that's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Right, folks. So until Thursday, we'll see you there for the 9th episode of Fullstack for Noobs. It's been great as always, Sally, and see you all then.
Yeah. Take care, man. Bye bye.